bullshit these other guys do all the time.
It's a safer chamber for them now.
Yeah. I mean,
see, that's the other thing too. Like
this was something though. I think that as far as me, maybe everybody else, is that it was predictable.
It was a long time coming.
No, it was predictable.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that it was a long time coming. With everything they're having these women do that the men have done,
it was inevitable.
It was just like, okay, Elimination Chamber's coming, so you know they're going to put the women. It wasn't a surprise. I don't see it as special because you knew it was.
And the funny thing is too is what kind of legend let some people know it was coming too is if you're a player of the WWE Supercard app game, for the last 4 months, women's Elimination Chamber has been a thing on the app game for the last 4 months. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, this is obviously eventually going to be happening.
It was just, for me, again, it was no surprise, because every big pay-per-view they've had a consecutive thing that the men have done, that the women are now doing. Had they skipped this one and did it next year, then they'd be like, oh, alright, cool. But, I mean, you just had, a women's Money in the Bank, you've had all these women's ladders and chairs matches already, you've already had a women's Royal Rumble, it was kind of like, this is going to fucking happen.
Alright, so now I have 2 specific questions for you about this match.
Okay.
From a worker perspective.
Okay.
Okay, first one from a worker. Do you see them blowing off an Asuka Alexa Bliss match and putting somebody else over for this match? The other participants are Bayley, Mickie James, the 2 girls from Absolution, and Sasha Banks.
I don't know. I really don't know. It's hard to say, especially with considering what they're trying to do with her and Mickie James lately. Mm-hmm. So it's really hard to say. Okay. I don't know where they're going with any of it right now.
Okay, now on the slightly controversial front, this was interesting because you had slightly heard it and I explained it to you and everything like that. 2 weeks ago when it was first announced this was going to be the thing, Alexa Bliss, whether fully scripted or not, caught Kurt Angle by surprise and stating that where Brock Lesnar was getting preferential treatment and not having to defend in the chamber. And granted, this is a work, we get it, but it was just interesting, as you said, how he was getting preferential, and she had to do it. I mean, on the other argument, too, I mean, they hadn't had a title defense for her since October. She hadn't been booked any title defense since October.
But she's worked.
But she has worked, whereas Brock Lesnar, again, is a part-timer. And then his reasoning was, like, well, Lesnar defended at Rumble, you did not, henceforth, why you're doing this. And so, what are your thoughts on her statement, though, in terms of that?
Whether it was a work or not, I actually fucking fully agree with it, because I've said constantly how everyone is all over, someone like Brock Lesnar's ass, but in the same right, it's like, but what does he do? And granted, you have not only her, but you've had other, champions that haven't defended in X amount of time. Yeah, fine, who cares? But they are consistently on shows, and they are consistently working, whereas, he comes to Raw once or twice to cut a promo, and he doesn't even cut the fucking promo, and then you have him work a pay-per-view, and then you don't see him again. These are the same things that they would get on, like, The Rock for, or John Cena for, and it's like, to me, it does seem like fucking special treatment, and I think it's retarded. And again, whether or not they told her to say that, or whether or not she actually just shot the shit, it is true.
Yeah, there was definitely a hint of truth in that, whether it was scripted or not, for her to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
She obviously, put a little venom into that, so to speak. Now, interesting point, too, is what they're doing. Everyone apparently went bananas for the Raw that just passed.
Yeah. You're funny.
What happened?
I'm sorry, John Honey. They are not going to draw more money if Sasha Banks went in as the champion.
No,
I'm sorry, honey.
The fans do not like her as much as people think they do.
And they might be, and while they might be rebuilding the Banks and Bayley thing, as Brad is saying, they might be trying to rebuild it, but the thing is, it's not going to work this time around, because they tried to rebuild it when it came to her and Charlotte already, and it flopped.
Yeah, because right now, Bayley's popularity is completely fizzled.
As has Banks's.
And as Banks's. And Banks's is, I mean, she's obviously due for an inevitable heel turn at this point, because the Paige incident, in the eyes of people, is really probably going to put the nail in the coffin for that and everything like that. But in terms of the guys, real quick, on an interesting side note, too, and it's not turned to a wrestling thing, but it's an interesting side note. Apparently, people went bananas for the Raw that just happened because they just had their longest match ever listed on there. Yeah. And people were like, Some notable name wrestlers were like, wow, you know, fans wanted wrestling on a wrestling show. Who'd have thought? Like, it's like, but apparently the big push of Rollins may turn into the actual feud for Roman post-Mania. Which was actually slated originally to be Dean Ambrose up until the injury.
Oh, okay.
And everything like that. But yeah, so I mean, again, more so just towards the women thing. There's just an interesting thing going on in terms of with the women thing and everything like that. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how that plays out and everything like that. And again, you know, Alexa did spit out a bit of truth there on that, without a shadow of a doubt.
The way I think it might go down, like Alexa will retain the title. Somehow, like you said, Nia Jax will win, count out disqualification.
Something to get her into that because that was obviously the other potential build-up as well because they've been teasing the whole Nia Alexa Bliss thing for the longest time as well.
And then Asuka can still choose Raw or SmackDown, so she might just...
Yeah, she still hasn't technically made her decision.
Yeah, so then it'll be Alexa and Nia, probably.
Because the other rumor thing is with what they're planning on doing with Rousey is they're planning on still putting her in a mixed tag match.
Yeah.
With someone against Triple H and Stephanie.
Look, the draft just needs to fucking happen at this point.
Yeah.
Because right now...
Because they're doing the pay-per-view cut down as well.
Because right now, I'm actually tired of the Raw women's roster. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of saying...
They got to mix it up a little bit.
I'm really tired with seeing the same women in heavy rotation at the top, just like they do with the men at the top on Raw. It's the same women. It's always going to be whoever is the champ. Sasha's got to come out and say something like she's fucking John Cena. And but then, you know, let's not forget about Bayley. And, you know, with the exception of like Nia Jax, Asuka, and Alexa...
Nobody's interesting.
Nobody else is interesting. It's always the same fucking people.
Yeah, because Becky Lynch, they've pretty much thrown to the waist. They gave her a run.
SmackDown, SmackDown has a nice way of mixing and matching and integrating, so you see someone different all the fucking time.
Because I'll even give them, even though they haven't been built up great, at least their next pay-per-view, Fastlane or whatever it's called, Charlotte is actually going to be facing Ruby Riott, which is kind of because it's like okay, somebody.
Yeah, it's new.
Regardless of her not. Obviously, she's not going to go over that. The point is, it's like, okay, she's facing someone new.
Yeah, it's right now, it's just the same things in such heavy rotation on Raw, and it's like, come on. They did it when Charlotte was even on Raw. It was the same women at the top, and I get it, but with the amount of women you have on that roster, it gets boring fast because you don't have that many.
Yeah.
Let me see a little bit more of Mandy Rose. I'm down for that.
She's good.
You know?
She's really good.
I mean, shit, even when Alicia Fox was on, it was like a slight change of pace here.
You bringing up Mandy Rose leads me to this. I honestly think by, not on purpose, I just think by performance alone and being in the mix with the girls that she's going to be in that type of an atmosphere, I think Mandy Rose is going to walk out and shock a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
really?
Not going over. Show
respect, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's got a great look. She's got a great build. But she can work.
Mm-hmm.
She can work. She's got good footwork. She's got ring presence. From a little you saw her, even you were like, wow, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Like, she's good. She is really good. You know, again, she can work. She's got good footwork. She's got timing. She's got the whole package. And I said it, and you even agree with me. I says, once this Absolution thing is done and they figure out her route, she's going to be huge and she's going to be a champion. Yeah. Without a doubt. Because she's that good.
Mm-hmm.
She's absolutely that good. I absolutely think she is. And I think this is going to be one of... I don't think she's going to steal the match, but this is going to be a breakout match for her. Because the thing is, she's always doing these tag matches or whatever like that. And she hasn't really done any single stuff that much per se, if any. This is going to be a great breakout match for her to work on her own a little bit. Even though her best friend is going to be in that match, it's still technically singles work. It's not a tag match. So I think this is going to be a real good shining point for her.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's pretty much all I've got in terms of that. You look like you had something.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Okay. Not really.
All right, well, that's pretty much all I had for the week.
Early night.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is good. I'm actually tired. I haven't taken my NyQuil yet, luckily, though.
Yes. Mandy Rose should have won Tough Enough. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? That's what a lot of people said too, because she was a tough enough contestant.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, like she was like the girl. Everybody said should have won. Because I think the female that won isn't even there. Like she's pregnant or something, right?
Yeah, she got pregnant, then they released her, I believe.
Yeah.
Before after.
Yeah. So.
All the winners had been, like, never got in the ring.
That's funny. Funny thing is, Velveteen Dream was also a contestant on it, and he was the male one that they were like, that should have won, and he's just fucking taking NXT by storm right now. He's like the hottest thing on there.
Isn't that just the thing though? Like even ever since
Don't be the winner,
tough
be the
enough back in the day. Because remember, Nydia didn't win.
It's the American Idol thing. It's the American Idol thing. Don't be the winner. Be the runner-up.
Always be the runner-up.
Be the runner-up. Don't be the winner.
Yeah, because Nydia, she didn't win.
Wait, did she?
No, it was the other one that won. Jack. She wasn't Jacqueline. She was like she was Jackie.
Somebody else.
The other the Jack's black woman.
No, that was season 2. Nydia did win season 1.
Nydia won season 1.
Yeah, Nydia and Maven won.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
And they actually did try. The Miz also. The Miz was another one that was eliminated.
Yes, he was.
Ryback was in that season as well.
Jackie Gata.
Mm-hmm.
John Morrison. Like a big
John Morrison was another one.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Oh boy. Well, I had mentioned, at the beginning of this program, everybody tune in. Make sure you stay till the end, like a Marvel movie and everything like that. So for all that, yeah.
So this is the end.
In a sense.
That's funny.
I don't know. You want to do it? I don't know how you want to do this.
Basically, we are going to be going on hiatus after this episode.
Yes. This is not a ending per se.
Yes.
So we didn't want to make a big deal out of this. We didn't want anybody going crazy.
Yeah. As we've been very transparent about everything that's been going down, but like since like mid-January, just shit has just been constant every day, every week, like to the point where Friday nights would come and we're like, we need to rest.
And again, we love being on here with you guys. It's not you guys, it's just and it's parenthood has pretty much burned us out. Not to throw our full beans out there. We've spent the last 3-4 weeks battling the Board of Education for Seth.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not a joke. She just had a massive meeting this morning at the school. I believe you spent like 2 hours there.
Yeah.
And everything like that. So we've been battling the Board of Education.
I'll lay it all out there. I don't give a damn. Okay? It all started.
Hi, here we go.
It all started mid-January. Okay? Because these schools don't fucking properly clean up. Where our kid came home with lice. Okay? Jace came home with lice. And I was so fucking skeeved out and I was disgusted. Okay? But then you know what happened after that? Cole got it. And Seth got it. Do you know how much money I had to spend on all that removal bullshit? So I spent an entire week having to deal with my kids having lice and worrying about cutting my little guy's hair because his hair is so friggin' gorgeous. And then, immediately after that, Jace gets sick. Hooray! And then, immediately after him getting sick and feeling better and going back to school, Seth comes home sick. While Seth is homesick that entire week, Jace gets in trouble for hitting a kid in school. So I had to go to that school. While Seth is also home, that's when I found out all this bullshit going on with Seth's school that I had to find mountains of paperwork from kindergarten all the way till 7th grade for that finally got settled today. Mind you, this started January 30th. Seth went back to school, and then Cole got sick while I'm still going back and forth to schools with meetings.
Then Seth got it again.
Then Seth got lice again from being at that fucking school, okay? And then, once all that finally cleared up, I'm like, alright, I have my meetings all scheduled and ready to go. Everyone's healthy. Nobody has bugs in their fucking hair anymore. I get sick, okay? So, I'm burnt the fuck out.
Again. So again, unlike last time, I know John's really, really sad and like that. Again, we're not saying it's over. It's just an extended hiatus with an unknown return.
Yeah.
Just always, we're going to continue the Nerd Herders page going. And just always keep an eye out for when we announce, hey, we're coming on this Friday night, or hey, we're coming on this evening. So, we're not fully disappearing. It's just parental life has really, really, really burned this duo out.
Exactly. I mean, the one thing within all of this is that, yes, all this shit has gone down, and we're tired